Before we get started, this recipe does require baking in the oven, so only do that with permission. And listen and watch carefully to see how many other peaceful school teachers I ask for help before this video is over. Hello, building women. Today we are going to make homemade pretzels because 1, they're delicious. 2, they have to do with my community, which I'll talk to you about later. And 3, they're pretty easy. So the first thing we have to do is get our yeast going. So we have here is a cup of lukewarm water, meaning when I stick my finger in, it feels a little bit warmer than my finger. I wash my hands very carefully first, don't you worry. Into that warm water, I'm going to put 2.5 teaspoons of yeast. Now, some of y'all may have your yeast in envelopes, and this is exactly the same as 1 envelope. So we're putting in the yeast, and we're also adding a teaspoon of sugar because that will get the yeast going, and 1 teaspoon of sugar. So just grab a fork and mix that all up. You're going to see in a minute it's going to start to get foamy. And all of those yeast particles you see on the top will dissolve. Meanwhile, we're going to put some flour in our measuring bowl. Measured in 2.5 cups of flour. Now I'm going for 1 teaspoon of salt. Check on that yeast, and you can see it's starting to get those bubbles, which is a good sign. And give it about 2 more minutes. All right, so our yeast and water is ready to go, which you can tell in person because it'll start to smell like you're baking bread. You'll get that yeasty smell. So all we have to do is pour that in to the flour and salt we measured earlier, and then we're just going to mix it up. And you can do that with a spoon. You can do it with your hands. I just got a new fancy mixer. McManus' beautiful mixer. So I'm going to use that. Just keep mixing it until it's all mixed together well. I'll show you. Okay. After you have kneaded for about 5 minutes, you're going to get about a look like this. If you put a little bit of flour on your hand and kind of pat that on the dough, you're going to be able to pick up the dough without it really sticking to your hand. That's how you know it's ready to go. So you're going to leave it in that bowl. Put some kind of cover on it. Could be a dish towel, could be a piece of foil. If you do a piece of foil, spray it with cooking spray or rub it with oil first so it doesn't stick to it if it rises up to the top. And let it sit for about 30 minutes. Our dough has risen. You can tell it's all full of air. Now we're going to break it into 8 equal pieces and give them each a minute to rise.
We're rolling.
So your dough has risen, I showed you that. Now you divide it into these 8 equal pieces. You take each one and you just start rolling it out like it was Play-Doh. And you just keep rolling it until it's, I don't know, I think they say 2 feet long, but I think that's too long. Until it's long enough to make a pretzel. Then I take one end, I cross it over. I take the other end, my dog's scaring the mailman. Cross it over. Pretzel. I'm going to do the same thing with the other 6 now. Sprinkle them with some salt. Bake them for 9 minutes at 475. If you want, you can brush them with some melted butter. It's your choice. Makes them more delicious, but less healthy. Again, we're talking about choices. All right, building women, here is my taste tester for the pretzels. My wonderful son, Owen. Hi, Owen. Owen, help yourself to a pretzel. Let us know what you think. Oh, pretzels are Owen approved. Thanks, Owen. I mentioned that pretzels have some meaning to my identity. That's because in my church, We're in the time of Lent, and pretzels are actually a traditional food during this season. People say it's because the cross shape kind of looks like praying hands, but I don't necessarily see it. But anyway, that's something about my community that I'm sharing with you while I miss you. There you have it, some delicious pretzels for you to share at home with your family. Stay safe and stay away from other people. See you soon, Building Women.